Let's have a look at this morning's papers, shall we? The Mirror carries the headline, the story that Sally was talking about a moment ago. Terror in the sky, it says, reporting on the death of pensioner Jeff Kitchen, who died when the plane he was on dropped 6,000 feet during severe turbulence.
The Times reports that police are being told to make fewer arrests because of the shortage of space in prisons. The paper says it's seen an internal document urging chief constables to consider pausing non-priority arrests until there is enough capacity.
So look at The Guardian, who say there's been a big increase in under 40s being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. They've got figures from Diabetes UK showing a 39% rise in the last 6 years, something it says is blamed on a rise in obesity caused by junk food and what they're calling stark inequalities. And
the Telegraph front page says the International Monetary Fund is urging the Bank of England to cut interest rates 3 times this year, as inflation figures published within the next hour are expected to fall to 2%. We will, of course, bring you those the moment we have them. Nina is on standby.
7 o'clock, we should get them on the dot, so we'll bring them to you. Interesting story here in the Times today. You know, we did our social media children's safety edition of Breakfast a couple of weeks ago. And one of the ideas being talked about was Brianna Jai's mum, Esther, was here saying she thinks that smartphones should be banned for under 16-year-olds. Well, St Albans in Hertfordshire wants to become the first city in the UK to go smartphone-free for children under the age of 14. And they've got head teachers from 20 local primary schools have signed a letter to parents right across the city saying, what's the phrasing? Parents should reset the expectations of their children, resist pressure, and try to make sure they don't have a phone that can do anything other than texting and calling until they're 14, 15 years old.
It is such a good idea. It's hard to enforce.
It's really hard, isn't it?
So St Albans want to lead the way.
Yeah, they do. And it's because we got some figures, didn't we, from Ofcom a couple of weeks ago, which said that a third of children aged between 5 and 7 are now using social media regularly, unsupervised. That's the kind of thing that they want to tackle. Whether under 14-year-olds in St Albans are quite so keen, we'll find out. We'll have a look at that story in the weeks ahead.
Neighbours of a woman who was mauled to death by her 2 XL bully dogs in East London have paid tribute to her, saying she was kind and loving. The victim has been named locally as Angeline Mahal. She was attacked on Monday at her home in Hornchurch. The 2 registered dogs were seized after being contained in a room. More than 100 people on 5 housing estates in South London have been told to look for somewhere else to live. The private tenants had moved onto estates which had been earmarked for regeneration and potential demolition by Lambeth Council. It says the homes were let on a short-term basis and it would provide vital housing for homeless families. But tenants have accused the council of failing to be transparent, with one saying within months of agreeing to a renewal, they were told the landlord wanted the property back.
We've told them that this is our home, we want to make it our home, we're looking for a long-term house. Yeah, I just felt fooled because obviously I just thought that they knew what's going on with the property since day one. They knew their intention and they've never been transparent.
Drivers are being warned to avoid Albert Bridge next week as it's closing for essential maintenance. The crossing, which connects Chelsea to Battersea, will be shut in both directions from Tuesday until Saturday. Pedestrians and cyclists can still use it during the works, but vehicles will have to follow a diversion. Children at a school in North London have been crowned Britain's funniest class. It's after a nationwide competition in the Beano, which asked pupils to submit their best jokes. Year 6 at Northside Primary in Finchley took the title with 42% of the vote and will now see their entry featured in the comic.